Okay, folks, we're back for part 2 of the Reg.A Money Show. We're talking about what it costs to actually do a Regulation A. One of our listeners, I believe it was Benji, wrote in. Miguel, why don't we answer that question in real world terms that you can only get at the Reg.A Money Show? So, Miguel, let's get into this. How much does it really cost to do the Regulation A?
Well, Ron, as we all know, because we've been talking about this for a long time now, we've been kind of putting all the players into place and finding out exactly what kind of services you're going to need when you're going to be doing a Reg A. So here's my insight, guys. The inside of this is when you're going to first need an SEC attorney. An SEC attorney is going to, we've been looking, Ron and I have been talking to very different professionals throughout. We've had some professionals here on the Reg.A Money Show with us, but for the attorney, you're going to be looking at anywhere between 25 to 35 to 45 grand. So if you want an average, right now, people are paying approximately $35,000. Now, here's the key to this. When you get ready to hire your attorney, you want to make sure that the attorney understands that you're looking for a flat rate. You're looking to get qualified, and what his rate is going to be to get you from point A to qualified. That's what you need to do. So when you're looking at it, you want to budget out at least $35,000, okay? So that way you know that you have enough, and then with a little bit of a cushion of about $10,000, because I'm going to add $10,000 because let's say you go to the OTC markets, or you want to uplist your security to, like, say, the NASDAQ, or you want to upgrade, or you want to uplist to OTC bulletin board. You're going to need a little extra there, so that way the attorney can provide you with legal opinion and all the other documents that you're going to need for FINRA. Now, that's the attorney side of it. Now, as everybody knows, Ron, that's listened to the Reg.A Money Show, you're also going to need a PCAOB auditor. Now, here's the key. You have to find an auditor that is hungry, that is looking for clients. Now, a lot of these auditors, what they're doing is they have, 100, 150, 200 clients, and they're going to put you on the back burner, and they're going to charge you. But if you could find a good, reputable PCAOB firm, you could probably get away, depending on how big your business is, anywhere between $10,000 to $25,000. Now, that is going to be for each year. Now, as you guys understand, Ron and I have always been telling you guys that if you have history, if you have operational history, you're going to have to do a minimum of 2 years. Now, if you don't have any history and you're in inception, the inception is going to come out to that way you only have to do the period in question, right? So the period in question may be only 6 months, so then you may be able to get off a little lighter. But I would definitely budget for each year of operation or any partial thereof, I would budget about $10,000, okay? And anywhere between $10,000 to $25,000, depending. Now, you could be a convenience store that's doing 10,000 transactions a day, and you're going to be running up a little higher. So you have to make sure that you understand your general ledger. Now, if you got a lot of transactions on that general ledger, damn straight you're going to be paying a little bit more. But if you don't have that many transactions on your general ledger, you should be in that ballpark, anywhere between $10,000 to $25,000. Now, that takes care of the two major components. That's your audit and your SEC. Now, the only other little things that are going to be left over are going to be this. And I shouldn't say little thing because there's one more component, as we've always talked about. Do you have a following? Do you have a crowd that's following you? If you have a crowd that's following you, you're going to want to reach out to that crowd. You want to budget some money to reach out to your crowd. Now, that all depends. How big is your crowd? All right, you're looking for an acquisition of investor. I would think about, anywhere between $50 to $100 per crowd member. So if you have say 100 people in your crowd and you're going to reach out to them, budget about anywhere between $50 to reach out to them. What does that mean? Well, each of those people, you reach out to them via email, maybe a postcard, maybe a newsletter, and then they come back and they want to invest. You're going to have to get the payment portal to pay for that. So I would figure about $50 per person on that end. Now, Miguel, I don't have a crowd. I don't have a following. I need to do this from the ground up. Okay, so now you need an investor awareness program. A good investor awareness program is probably going to run you, and guys, this is a number that's going to be fluctuating because it all depends on how you want to do it. But you got to remember that every dollar that you spend in market awareness, investor awareness, is another dollar that you spend getting your product out there, getting your company known. So you should think of it as $1 that kills two birds. birds, right? So $1 kills two birds because it could get you an investor, and if they're not an investor, they should get you a customer. So think about this for just a second. Any time that you're going to be doing a good investor awareness program, you're going to be looking to spend anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000. And why? You're going to say, man, Miguel, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is a lot of money. But what you're talking about here is at the time that you're getting ready to get qualified and the time that you've gotten qualified and your audit is all done, why not spend the extra money to make sure that the investors know what your message is? And also think about it too. You've already got money budgeted in your budget for marketing. So you're going to turn those marketing dollars into investor awareness dollars that'll also bring in some investors. So that's the three major components. Now, there's a little component that I would also add to you guys, which is called your Edgarizing. Okay, you're going to need somebody who's going to help you get all your forms online. You're looking at about $5,000 for that, and then you're looking at, the payment portal itself. The people that are charging to get the customer, make sure that they get their certificates, make sure that they get their registration documents, that everything is done electronically, so that way you're able to produce a certificate for them at the end of the transaction of them buying your security. Now, I'm seeing anywhere between 5 to 7%. Okay, and some people are actually just charging a flat fee. So that $50 that I was telling you about getting your followers, I'm including that fee in there because what they usually charge is anywhere between $25 to $35, Ron, and that's what that I think would be a very good number for you guys to figure to be able to pay that. Now, some guys will take a percentage, and some guys will give you a flat fee. My recommendation: always get the flat fee. Always get the flat fee because you don't want to give any extra money away that you've raised to the payment portal. And I think, Ron, with those 5 components, you would have a really, really good idea of what you need to budget. So I'm going to give you high end so that way you know what you're looking at. High end, we said for the attorney, $35,000. We said for the auditor, we said $25,000. What is that? $60,000 so far, right, Ron?
Yeah.
60,
right.
65 with the Edgar agent. And then the kicker is the one that, you have to just bite the bullet on the advertising dollars. So high end on advertising dollars is $100,000. You're looking at about $165,000 to do a proper Reg.A to get you the movement of anywhere between, say, $1 to $5 to $7 million. Okay, and I would say if you wanted to look at this, if you're putting up $165,000, I would think that you would probably you'd be well over $3 million and anywhere between $3 to $5 to $10 million, depending on how much movement you got from that. Because you got to remember, too, a lot of these people that are going to be aware of this are going to share it with their friends and family. They're going to share it. You're going to have that rule of 9, so you get it to 1, they're going to pass it at least to 3 people, and those 3 people will pass it around a little bit, too. So you want to make sure that you get some legs underneath you. And I think that the $100,000 will get you a good start to that, and you should be able to have a very successful Reg.A. So there it is, Ron. There it is in a nutshell, dude. I can't put it out there any more succinctly than having a nice little budget like that. So you have to know. You have to build the war chest. Where do I get this money, Miguel? Well, dude, just like you're going on there's a lot of different options that we'll get into a different show about how you can get that seed money to get you started, because there's a lot of other areas, especially in the crowdfunding arena now with the Title II and the Title III of the Jobs Act, that you could probably do a little bit of a raise prior to your Reg.A to get some of that initial seed money that you're going to need to kind of seed the company, kind of seed the Reg.A, all the things that you would need. And Ron and I, we don't have that much time in there, but Benji, I hope that you guys are planning your Reg.A. First of all, Benji, I hope that your Reg.A is very successful, and I look forward to having you on the show so you can tell me and Ron all about it, and you can tell our listeners all about it. So, if you're listening to this show, please let me know when you guys start to get qualified, so that way we can have you on as part of our qualifiers segment on our show, so we can kind of feature you and what you guys have been doing. So lots of luck there, and I hope I was able to answer your question, Benji, and thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to answer that question for us, and thank you so much for your support of the show. Ron and I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, and you made a good point with the seed money too, Miguel. There's a lot of times we talk about Reg.A being a vehicle for both startups and established companies, but the startups, a lot of times, they're not going to have this initial money to put out to do the Reg.A many times. And I think that scares a lot of people off. But when you talk about ways to seed that, then you're opening up a whole new way of thinking on this. So really,
yes.
These startup companies may be able to participate in or create a Reg.A offering, if they were able to use a correct strategy for the seed financing. Which, like you said, we'll have to do a show on that as well. We could probably talk forever on those options.
Well, absolutely. What we'll do, Ron, is let's outline it for one of our future shows. You guys will have to stay tuned to that show. We'll call it the Seed Money Show. We'll call it the Seed Money Show on the Reg.A Money Show. Okay, so we'll call it the Seed Money Show. And what we'll do is we'll go through a couple of different formulas and a couple of secret recipes that Ron and I have uncovered over the last few years on how people can access some of that seed money, so that way they can get started. But one of the first things that you need to do is that you need to contact us with your questions. You need to get on the listenership. You got to register to listen to this show. You got to be a faithful listener to this show, so that way you can continue to be updated every week by Ron and Miguel on the Reg.A Money Show. So you guys, Ron is going to tell you exactly how to do that. You got to follow his instructions, and then you guys tune in, send us your questions, and we'll try to get to everybody as much as we possibly can, and we'll go from there, right, Ron? Because that's all we do here. We just present information to the people, so that way the people can take the information, because we're for the people, by the people, right?
That's correct. Yep. And as far as I know, Miguel, we're the only people out there doing it on a show like this. So congratulations once again to me and you. Right? That's great. And folks,
absolutely.
if you're out there listening to us right now, we are over at Reg.A money.com. That's REGA money.com. And that is the show website. You can just go over there and click view our archived episodes. We're also on Spreaker. We're on Stitcher. We're on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud. We're on, of course, iHeartRadio. We're on all the Alexa devices. So there's no way you can avoid us at this point, Miguel. There's no way. People cannot avoid the Reg.A Money Show.
Absolutely. That's how we like it.
We love our listening audience. Thank you so much for tuning into the show, Miguel. I guess we should just close it out today, and we'll be back at you next week with another Reg.A Money Show. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great week.